With inflation out of control, rising gas prices, and places like Fabric.com closing its doors forever, it is super important that we as sewing enthusiasts start looking for alternative ways to buy our sewing supplies. One of those alternatives is to use a place like Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree is a wonderful place to shop for sewing supplies, although the prices have gone up to $1.25. The first item that I found was a shirt. And shirts are a great thing to get from Dollar Tree because you can use them to embroider things on. You can also pick up a hat to go along with the shirt, and this is just another great thing that you can use to embroider. The next item that I found were socks. And socks are a tricky item that is not necessarily great to embroider on or do a monogram on if you do not have a free arm embroidery machine. But if you have a free arm embroidery machine, they are a top seller if you are into selling your handmade items. I also found totes. Tote bags are one of the items that are tried and true that a lot of people enjoy. If you don't feel like making one from scratch, this is a great option because you can then embroider and embellish the tote and give it as a gift or even sell it. Aprons are the next item that I found. So aprons are great for monogramming or putting a name or a quote or any number of things on. And they had a whole lot of different colors. And also what I found interesting is that you can also make a gift basket that includes the apron along with a kitchen towel and a mitt that can also be customized to fit your customer or the person whom you love and would like to give a gift to. I also found bath towels inside of this store, and bath towels are a wonderful thing to do monogramming on. Now, me personally, I'm a little bit picky. I don't like cheap bath towels. I like them to be very plush, but this still is a wonderful alternative. I found pillowcases too, and pillowcases are something that you can easily put a monogram on. Surprisingly, Dollar Tree had a lot of fabric. They weren't big pieces of fabric, but enough fabric that you could do a quilting project, which I found quite amazing. With the fabric, you can obviously do your quilting projects, but you can also use it for doing applique work. Aside from the fabric, I found ribbon, and I often use ribbon for embellishing my sewing projects or the garments that I make. And this particular Dollar Tree had an entire aisle full of nothing but ribbon. And I thought this interesting because the ribbon seemed of the same quality as what I would find at somewhere like Hobby Lobby. I also found elastic inside of Dollar Tree, and surprisingly it was quite a bit of elastic on each roll, and it wasn't a small amount. It was worth more than $1.25, that's for sure. Paracord is one of the items that I found in the Dollar Tree. Paracord is one of the items that people would wonder why you would use that for sewing or how. For me personally, I would use some of the other tutorials that you find here on YouTube to create paracord straps, and I would use the straps in bag making, making things like backpacks and purses. This next product is a bit of a strange one. It is called Glad Cling and Seal. This is the off-brand name of it, but the real brand name of it is called Glad Press and Seal. Glad Press and Seal is oftentimes used as a substitute for water-soluble stabilizer in embroidery. Water-soluble stabilizer is usually used as a topper on difficult fabrics just to help an embroidery stitch to stitch out better, and then it is washed away afterwards. But the Glad Press and Seal can be used too, and you can simply tear it away after you're done with the project. Also, you can use Glad Cling and Seal / Press and Seal to trace out intricate designs and then place them on top of your fabric to do your top stitching in quilting. I found pencil grips, and pencil grips are what I use to put on my embroidery hoops to make it easier to open and close the hoops. This is just a fun thing that you can do, and it just makes life a lot easier. Double-sided tape is another one of the sewing items that some sewers will say, why would you use that? But it's a great way to temporarily hold together two pieces of fabric while you sew, because quite honestly, your temporary spray adhesive can be expensive, and then two, the temporary spray adhesive sometimes will stain your fabric, and that stuff is extremely hard to get out of fabric once it's in there. Kitchen placemats. Someone would say, why would you use a kitchen placemat in your sewing room? Well, I do have patterns that I use frequently, and because I use those patterns frequently, the paper pattern pieces tear up. So what I end up doing is tracing off my paper pattern onto the placemats, and then cutting the placemat out and using the placemat as the pattern piece instead. And it's just a more of a long-term solution than just having a paper pattern piece. Aside from that, dry erase pockets are a wonderful thing to have in a sewing room. So if I have a project that I'm going to do in the future, like this particular project with this 80s jacket, I can put the pattern inside of the pocket along with all of the notions, and then once I cut out the fabric, I can also place the fabric inside of the pocket as well, and it's all encapsulated in one area, so that when I'm ready to actually embark on the sewing project, I can simply just pull everything out of the package and get started. Spray bottles are something that are great to use in the sewing room, because you can add your spray starts to that bottle and then spray your garment with that and iron it. Or if you are an embroiderer, you can use the spray bottle to spray your water soluble and get rid of it when you're done with the project. Cellophane is another wonderful item for sewing, and people will wonder, like, why would you use cellophane? Well, cellophane can be used for applique work to create very shiny embellishments on items, and it looks just very nice. Or if you are into gifting your items that you make as a sewist, then you could wrap your items in the cellophane to gift them to someone else. Lint brushes are quite obvious. There's no need to explain why we need a lint brush in a sewing room. I found quite interesting that Dollar Tree had vinyl. They had the iron-on vinyl, which you can use for applique work. So that is a wonderful option. And some people might question, is Dollar Tree vinyl any good? Well, yeah, it actually does work quite well. The last item that I found in Dollar Tree for the sewing room was, of course, storage. We as sewing enthusiasts often need a lot of storage, and there were many different storage options inside of Dollar Tree, but my favorite was the cookie tin, because it had cookies inside it. Why wouldn't somebody love cookies? I hope that you all enjoyed this video and got some ideas about how to save money in your sewing room. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.